This sounds like something out of a novel. A group of rebels, helped by an American, seize an ambassador's residence in a South American country and hold dozens of people for more than 4 months. Indeed, the Japanese embassy hostage crisis inspired the 2001 best-selling novel Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. The real-life crisis began on December 17, 1996, when 14 members of the Tupac Amaru Revolutionary Movement, or MRTA, a Marxist-Leninist organization dedicated to the overthrow of the Peruvian government, blew a hole in the wall of the residence. They took more than 700 people hostage, including high-level diplomats, government and military officials, and business executives, who were all there celebrating Emperor Hirohito's birthday. Several days before the assault, the guerrillas showed up in an ambulance and seized the one house that bordered the Japanese residence. They then waited for the reception to start. At 8:30 that evening, an explosion ripped through the wall behind the residence garden. 14 MRTA rebels charged through the hole and stormed the reception. Among the 700 captives were at least 12 people in the American embassy. Ironically, once the rebels were inside, the walls around the residence became defensive barriers for the terrorists. All the armed security guards were stuck outside the walls and could do nothing. The scene was chaotic, to say the least. 700 people dressed in their finest attire, frantically making cell phone calls. After about 4 hours, the guerrillas let all the women go. Over the next few weeks, they released several others until they got down to the core group of 70. For some reason, the rebels did not keep any of the Americans long-term and released them all within a week. The MRTA demanded the release of 400 rebels, including Lori Berenson, an American who had been arrested the year before. President Alberto Fujimori refused to negotiate with the terrorists and instead assembled commandos with some training by Israeli experts. Now here's where the situation gets even wilder. Peru brought in indigenous miners from the highlands to dig under the walls of the residence. To mask the noise, the Peruvians brought in loudspeakers and played music at high volume. Finally, on day 126, they were ready. They placed explosives under the floor of the living room, detonated them, allowing the commandos to storm the residence. Miraculously, they were able to free all of the hostages except for one, a Supreme Court justice who was killed in the crossfire. Some guerrillas were killed in the initial bomb blast. A few others had bonded with the hostages and refused to kill them when the order was given. The whole maneuver was over in just a few minutes. Lori Berenson became the subject of a fierce Free Lori campaign in the United States. Despite that, she remained imprisoned in Peru until her release in 2010. ADST, follow us for more.